Hey there, this is Matt DiDonato with Prospero Equipment Corporation. This talk will be based on a 5,000 gallon per year winery or 2,000 cases per year and smaller. This will be a crush pad talk mainly focusing on smaller destemmer crushers and must pumps. So let's jump right into it. The most basic option is something like this unit shown here, which is our 10F09 model. This is a crusher destemmer unit that runs on standard 110 volt power. This unit processes approximately 1 ton per hour. These units are rougher on the fruit, but are economical units to get a very small winery going if the budget is tight. The units are easy to run and operate. The winemaker will feed lugs in by dumping into the hopper shown here, or you could also pitchfork fruit in from a macro bin. These units will crush first and destem second, which is not ideal. Normally you would want to destem first to get rid of the stems and then crush after to avoid any bitterness of the stems getting into the wine. On the outfeed, you can have the unit sit on top of a fermentation bin or get a stand option as shown here in the picture. These are great economical units that are a good place to start for a smaller winery under 5,000 gallons per year on a tighter budget. The second option is something like this unit here, which is our Rosen-Noyer machine. This unit runs at a rate of 2 to 4 tons per hour. The unit works by feeding lugs or pitchforks from macro bins into the auger shown here, and then a paddle-like beater beats the grapes off the stems. There is a stainless steel cage where the grapes fall through and the stems get discarded out the back end of the unit. There is a second paddle-like auger that works as a must pump that pumps the grapes out of the unit. Shown here is a 3-inch tri-clover connection, and you can connect your wine hose to pump into a fermentation bin or tanks. There is no external must pump required for this unit. The one drawback of this system is that the paddle pumping the must is rough on the fruit, so it is not a very gentle process. It is, however, an economical workhorse unit, so it has its place in the winemaking industry because of the production speed and low cost. For a smaller winery on a tighter budget, it is definitely an option to consider. This unit can run on 220 volt single-phase power, which is ideal for a small farm winery as well. The last unit is the more commercial unit shown here. This is the Lugana R model, which runs at a rate of 4 to 6 tons per hour. Even for a smaller 5,000 gallon winery or 2,000 case winery and below, this unit is still a great option because of the quality of processing. For a smaller winery that has the budget and wants a higher quality setup, this would be the ideal option. The units can also be made in 220 volt single phase power, which is ideal for small farm wineries. So how do these units operate? Wine grapes get fed into the feed-in auger hopper on top here and passed down into the destemmer cage. The auger on top ensures a uniform flow of grapes into the unit. Inside the destemmer cage are food-grade solid rubber tip paddles that apply a gentle beating mechanism to beat the grapes off the stems without any shearing or damage in the actual grape. This is the destemmer cage shown here, and these are the rubber tip paddles. The destemmer cages can be custom ordered to accommodate large and small grape berries, so many wineries will have a few different sized cages on site for processing. For smaller wine grapes, a smaller cage can be used to reduce the amount of jacks. Jacks are the little bits of stems that hold the berries to the main stalk. Some fall through the cages, so to reduce the amount of jacks, you ideally want to have the correct size cage in the unit. For larger size grapes, a medium to larger size cage may be used. General ranges for destemmer cage hole sizes are anywhere from 18mm up to 26mm diameter hole sizes. These holes are the holes you see here on the cage. The machine comes with a standard 24mm cage. As well, if desired, the cages can be custom ordered in a food-grade plastic material instead of stainless steel, which will provide an even gentler processing of the wine grapes. As the grapes pass through the cage, the stems are fed out the back of the unit into a trash bin. The wine grapes pass down through the destemmer cage holes and into the crush and rollers, which are shown here. The crush and rollers are adjustable and up to the winemaker how much they want to crush the grapes. In most cases, the winemaker will normally slightly crack the grape and not cause too much damage to the skin or seeds inside. If desired, the crush and rollers can be completely bypassed. One of the reasons for bypassing the rollers is if the winemaker wants to add some additional post-sorting. Speed adjustments. Each machine's base model will come with a mechanical speed knob to adjust the flow to give some control over the speed. As an option, we have the ability to add a frequency drive speed variator, which will allow for greater speed control, giving the winery the ability to run much slower speeds to accommodate any pre-sorting systems or post-sorting systems. This speed variator is essentially a potentiometer dial switch to turn up or down the dial as needed to have greater speed control. This option is highly recommended, especially if there are any future plans for any pre or post sorting of the wine grapes. As you can see here, the units are very easy to open and clean as well. The destemmer cage, paddle, and crush rollers all come apart easily. There are a few ways to feed wine grapes into these units. You can get a basic floor model, as we see here. This unit is on wheels and is low to the ground, so a person can easily hand feed 36-pound lugs into the unit, or a person with a pitchfork can feed grapes from a macro bin. Another option is to get something like this here. This unit is on an adjustable leg stand option, so you can raise the unit up or down, or lower it down completely. It has bolt notches here on the legs, so you can raise it up or down with a forklift by removing the 4 bolts and adjusting the height. Now you can operate this unit as a standard floor unit by lowering it down, or you can raise it up, giving you the ability to discharge onto a post-sorting table or into a macro bin. On the infeed, you can now use a grape elevator for ease of feeding. You can simply dump a half-ton macro bin into a grape elevator on the floor, and it will lift the fruit into the destemmer crusher. This will save manual labor and time. Must pumps. For a 5,000-gallon winery and below, I will cover the most popular options for pumping must out of the destemmer crusher in the smaller range. I went over 3 crusher destemmer units so far. For the first 2 options, the home wine crusher destemmer and the mid-range Rosanoia option, you don't need a must pump for pumping out of the crusher destemmers. However, for the Lugano 1R model, which we just covered, you may need a must pump. If you want to pump out of the Lugano 1R and don't want the gravity flow leg stand option, you could use a 2-inch or 3-inch impeller pump shown here. One of the most economical options is to use the sump attachment shown here, which is the optional attachment to the bottom of the crushing rollers. As the wine grapes get fed out of the rollers, this sump collects all the must and pushes it into a 3-inch tri-clover outlet port. You can then hook up a 2-inch or 3-inch impeller pump to this port to pump out of the unit. The sump attachment has a 3-inch tri-clover port to hook up to a 3-inch pump, or with a reducer you could also use a 2-inch pump. 2-inch is the smallest port size to pump must. These are the most economical pumps to use with these units. The VFN 60 pump is the 2-inch version, and the VFN 80 pump model is the 3-inch version. Each pump comes with a frequency drive remote control to adjust the speed. The pumps can also come in a cheaper version with a mechanical speed knob if that is desired. The pumps can be used for other purposes such as pumping from macro bins or tanks to the wine press, or you could also use it to transfer or rack wine. The drawbacks of these impeller pumps are they could have issues pumping if you have a very dry must and not too much liquid. The winemaker may have to add back in some juice from where they are pumping to get the must going again if it gets stuck. The other drawback is these pumps are rather harsh on the fruit when pumping must. The impeller can cause shearing of the wine grape skins and seeds, causing unwanted compounds to be exposed to the wine. The other must pumping option would be a rotor version shown here, is the rotor style pump that is also very gentle on the must. Inside it has a food grade plastic lobe. Imagine a football shaped lobe-like structure that uses a compressive force that gently moves the fruit through the system. 5,000-gallon crush pad and below recap. 10F09 model, home wine scale, small commercial scale. Cheapest option at 1 ton per hour. Rosanoia unit, great workhorse unit, rougher on the fruit but runs 2 to 4 tons per hour. Lugano 1R, 4 to 6 tons per hour, very gentle processing of the fruit, recommended for high quality winemaking processing. Lugano 1R machine is recommended with a frequency drive speed variator for controlling the speed for pre and post sorting for future crush pad additions. Lugano 1R has adjustable crushing rollers and different diameter destemmer cages available. Lugano 1R has adjustable leg stand option, which gives the unit versatility for post-sorting in the future and the ability to empty into macro bins for a gravity flow process. 2-inch or 3-inch impeller pumps for the Lugano 1R if the pump is desired. Most economical option, they are harsher on the grapes. Eli Pumpa 100 model must pump for a gentler, stronger must pump out of the Lugano 1R.